Good morning, everybody. Now, we're going to do something today on a car that has been very neglected in the workshop, and that is my Prelude. So if you're new here and you don't know what this car is, let me reintroduce you. It's summer of 2023. A random Facebook comes up on the cars that you don't see anymore. There's a Hillman Imp been pulled out of a garage. It's been sat there for over 40 years. And I found out that it's right on my doorstep. So I went and got that car, and I managed to buy that car off the council because the owner was dead. So I got a good deal on it. And at that point, I decided to take it home, clean it up, try and get it running. The engine was toast, so I didn't actually get it running. And then I decided, you know what, I don't really need this car. I'm going to put it up for sale. And then the owner of this car right here offered a straight swap. Now, me being the Honda guy that I am, deep down, I decided that, yes, I was going to buy this car. So all the way down from Scotland, I managed to get myself a 4-wheel steer, 2-litre 16-valve Honda Prelude, 1990. No rust because the rust had already been done, albeit it needs redoing and cleaning up. With the selling point for me is that this car is on hydraulics. This car has been on hydraulics for over 10 years. There's lots of different variations of this car throughout different owners for its time. I'm pretty sure it was in Ireland at one point. And yeah, this car is a very, very cool car, and you know, it was already on hydraulics. Which, if you know Hondas, that's the only way to get your Honda low, because bags just rub on the struts and whatnot. So, there's obviously a lot of problems with this car. The hydros themselves, the wiring, there was a big issue with the wiring. It wasn't working. So I ripped it all out and I got myself a new switch box. My friend Callum, Lawless Automotive, he makes these switch boxes. These are based off a Raven kit. So if you have a Raven hydraulics kit, this is a 6-way kit that can go straight into it. This isn't a Raven kit. However, it's very similar and I do believe it will work, but I've had one of these on my old Honda Legend and it works perfectly, and you know, went with him again because the bloke is a genius. The brakes on this thing were toast. The rear calipers were falling apart, so I've had the calipers sent off and I have sent them off to be rebuilt. So the rear calipers are brand new, all rebuilt, all new seals inside, etc, etc. Very good, so we'll get those on. The car has no exhaust. The car was missing a bunch of bits like speaker grills, badge, wiper arm, all that sort of stuff. Very, very hard to find, like honestly extremely hard to find, but we have them. Speaker grills, wiper arms, front badge, all of the good little bits. And I also got this little bumper cut if we wanted to do a smooth bumper, which I don't think we will, but the new owner can have this. Teaser there, this car is going to be sold. So back in summer, I thought, yeah, that'd be sweet. A little easy little run around for me for the summer, have a good time with that. And yeah, things drastically changed. We got the Sierra, that was on the agenda. We got the Mazda, that was on the agenda. We now got the E24. And to be honest, this thing has got a little bit forgotten about. I did start cutting the floor out because I wanted it to lay flat, and cutting the floor out would have meant dropping the car extra 30 mil. Now, 30 mil is nothing, but I was prepared to do it because that was my car for the summer. But we're not doing that anymore, so I had to start putting the floor back in. I only cut the seat brackets out. So they're right here. I literally just drilled the spot welds out, took the seat brackets out, and that was that. So they're gonna go back in. We'll weld those in at a later point. The whole interior's got to go back in. Yeah, a bit of a nightmare really, but you know, you don't know what's gonna happen in future. Now, this car has 4 spindles all round, and the reason it wasn't as low as I wanted it to was because the spindles were too long and they would go up and they would hit the top of the body just up here. Basically, to get the car lower, you take about 30-40 mil out of this section here of the arm of the spindle, weld them back together, and then you get loads of extra drop. You can see that, that's where the top arm is hitting the inside of the turret. The suspension goes up, hits the top of the turret up there. I think you can just see a little circle mark up there, and that stops the car from going any lower. On top of that, I've been doing this all in the background because, you know, obviously lots of other stuff have been happening, and I've just been collecting parts slowly. I did collect some parts for another car, which have actually made themselves onto this car. These are my Enki Apache 4s. Now, I got these for the Mazda, show you here, and that Mazda is basically, I didn't really like these wheels on the Mazda. You know, these were a fairly decent price for the Mazda. And I thought, well, I'm not going to use them, but I can put them to good use on something else, aka the Honda. So you thinking they're not going to fit, you had to get some adapters. So I did. I got some adapters right here, got them all the way from Australia. These are 15mm adapters. These are going to make the wheels fit onto the car, and hopefully they don't poke out too much. But yeah, there's that. These are the really hard to get rear track rod ends for the 4-wheel steer setup on the back. And I'm hoping these actually fit, because they're not actually for this car. Albeit quite new, 1990. You just can't find any parts for this car. I have this really weird obsession with having cars which you can't buy any bits for. So yeah, what we need to do now is start getting the suspension on this thing, get it rolling again, and get the interior back in, because this car is gonna get painted. Yep, this one's getting painted by me and my friend Matt. So my friend Matt is a painter, and we're actually gonna do it at his workshop, and basically he's gonna do most of it. But I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna have a go for the first time. I've never painted a car, and this year I'm gonna be painting 2. 10 plus years of doing cars, and I've never had a car painted. Wild. That's all on. Everything actually fitted for once. Couldn't believe it, apart from the wheels. Now, they do fit. The adapter fits the wheel. The adapter fits the hub. The problem is this excess stud. It's basically hitting the back pad of the wheel, just like here. So I've got to modify the studs, aka cut the excess thread off the ends, and yeah, get them on. Nice. Looks a bit pokey, doesn't it? It should pull in. On the hydraulics, it should pull in a lot. There should be an extra bit of camber on there. They're a very big offset with an adapter and a big chunky tyre, so I was alarmed. However, 14s for these cars is like, honestly, like the smallest you can go. Like no one ever puts 14s on, because theirs is like never low, and it's really hard to get them low. However, this is, I'd be confident in saying it's probably the lowest once this is all back together. So hopefully the hydraulics don't dwarf this on its full drop. So I got 60 profile tyre as well, so let's see. It looks like a big gap there, but that's the pros with hydraulics. You get so much lift out of it, and it'll get so much drop. I suspect the arch is going to sit like here, something like that, on full drop. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to assemble the rest of it. Catch you in a second. Right, so just down here on the floor, putting the new brakes on and stuff, and we're actually doing a accidental brake upgrade. Here's our old pads that came out. To be honest, they're pretty new. Like, look at that. They've barely been used at all. So, I was looking at it. Hello, puppy. Excuse me. Go back under there. This is our new pad, right? And obviously, fits in there just nice. Line up the grooves in the middle. It's bigger, but they both fit, but there's just more material on the new one. How weird's that? Look. It fits. Weird, different manufacturers, more material, more stopping power. I've never seen that before, but today I have. Look at that. New stopping power on the front, all installed. Now, the one thing what we got to do is put new brake lines on, but my friends at HEL Performance, they said they're going to send me a set out for this car here. So we're going to get a new set of braided lines for this car. That's why I've not tied them up. Usually they like sort of, you know, bolt onto the side of the spindle and stuff like there, like this, like ABS loom has, but it's sort of loose at the minute. But we finally have a car that will take its own weight. All 4 are on. Every single corner is bolted up. Got the new ball joints on in the top of the control arm there. New disc and pads are in. It's going to be a new car. But yeah, look at that. That is one car that can now go on the floor under its own weight, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So here in the workshop, trying to get all the stuff situated. Need to make this area more useful and make a rack over there and stuff like that. So getting this out, getting it sort of clean, getting all the interior back in, and yeah, let's get this thing into a car again. I forgot it had 4-wheel steer. It looks like a proper lowrider like that. Oh man, I need to get on the floor. I haven't got any wiring for it yet. I need to wire it up. It just looks so weird. Man. Definitely gonna have to add some camber to it because, you know, obviously the wheels are a bit pokey at this point, but that's good. That means it's gonna like drop into a good amount of fitment basically. If it pokes ever so slightly on full height, it's going to drop into a nice fitment. That's usually the case on the Honda. Yeah, looks pretty funky. I love it. Just looks so funny. Spindles in there, camber. Same again on this side. Nice. Can't wait to get on the ground. I honestly cannot wait to get on the ground. So good. We have a bomb site and I'm trying to get this rack in up here, but I'm gonna have to cut the top edge of it off just to get it, you know, further back, and then get it in there just so it's up against this wall. And then I have to cut that top brace off, and it will be obviously as far out as, you know, this post is, but then I can have it like that much further back, and then I am gonna just cut the corner of this bench off because it's gonna extend to about here. But I'll have a lot more storage for all this junk. This wood has been all down there. We use that for low vehicles, but I have an extreme amount of wood now, and I might just throw it all away. Side quest completed. I don't think I'll be putting anything all the way up there anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but it'll stop it from falling forward if it ever did, because it's all the way up there as well. Nice. Solution. Cut your bench. Get your shelving in there. Done. Let's load this up with shite. Side quest finished. Didn't mean to side quest in the video, but you know, it's all part of it. Forget that I own this thing and then unbury it and go, oh yeah, there's my first car. It's just gonna sit there forever, and then eventually up there when I get a better one of these, because at the minute, this is not gonna hold that. Looks so good. Workshop, tidied up. This is the sort of stuff that I have to do quite often. Just have to go, right, that's it. I need to blitz the place and start again because it gets so dirty and stacked up. But there's just shit everywhere. I need more space. I need a mezzanine to chuck like most of the shit that's over here elsewhere. You know, there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's rather annoying, but it is what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. Right, so strip the inside of this and we'll get these welded back on, because these are the main problem. Well, not a problem, but one of the most annoying things I did was remove these, but you know, times have changed, so we need to get these back in. I'm glad I removed them in a normal-ish fashion so we could actually weld them back on. Younger me would have probably just yanked them out with a grinder and basically just destroyed them, so shout out to older me. While I've been in here, I've just noticed something which is incredibly dangerous. Oh, please tell me that's in the right position. It was in a decent position, but this is what I'm trying to show you. So if you look here, this is the battery cable for the hydraulics. That was what was being used. And obviously this goes straight to the front of the car, all the way to the back to where the batteries were. Now, this is a big battery cable, and look how hot it's got. It's actually melted into the sound deadening. That could have been so dangerous for somebody. Obviously, we're not actually going to be using this battery cable now, but that is horrendous. I can't believe that. Wow. I just thought I'd add that is not too irregular to see a battery cable get hot with hydraulics. If you're playing with them for a long period of time, it gets hot. That's why you see all lowriders in America catch fire and stuff. It's because this wiring gets really hot if you're on it all the time. You know, these hydraulic systems take a lot of power, and it's not to be forgotten about how much power they actually draw. So yeah, all your wiring and stuff has to be bang on, and all your connections need to be tight, etc, etc. Just thought I'd add that in there in case people thought that's just a dangerous system. During my tidy up, I actually managed to find my little adapter for my die grinder, which I've been missing for about 6 months. So I managed to get that. My little side quest wasn't wasted, and now I can clean these up. This is the problem when you don't clean all the areas. You get a hammer full of melted undersill. Not good. Now I've just smacked it all over this panel here, and now I have to clean it all up. So I will join you when it's fully welded. That's all welded in, just drying now. We are going to move on to moving the interior into the car, but first we've obviously got to give it a good clean. The carpet is actually like a dark blue, which actually doesn't really show on camera too well, but clean all this, and then I'll spend a lot of time figuring out where all this stuff goes, trying to get some screws in the right places, and then I'll get a couple of clips and I will show you the finished result, because I think this interior is immaculate, to be honest, apart from one bit of plastic which is broken. That's on the lower door pillar, just here, right where the door shut sort of goes in. Annoying, but what can you do? Sorry, that was another side quest. Must continue on with the interior. Sorry, that was a little side quest. Must continue on with this interior. Nice. As you see, I've routed the switch box underneath the carpet there, so all we need to do now is put the interior in. So I'm going to do that right now. Look at that. As you can see, that looks absolutely fantastic. It's come out so nice. It was obviously mega dusty, and when I got it, it wasn't particularly clean. So after clean, it actually looks fantastic. You know, my favourite thing about these seats is that the stitching, is that all blue and red in the middle. You can't really see it from a distance, but yeah, it's really cool. Obviously the switch box is there. Got a bit of length left on the lead, so if you wanted to stand outside the car, that you could. Actually, I need to pull that through a little bit more because there's not enough on there. We've still got 2 holes in here. This is where the previous hydro switches were, here and here. And it had a switch where you turned it on, and I didn't really like it. So I'm gonna get some plastic bungs to just go in there, basically. Probably just leave the switch in there or something. Little touches there, little 4-wheel steer on the steering wheel, really good. And you'll notice that I got the original speaker grills on the parcel shelf, which I don't know how I managed to get them, but there you go. Fantastic looking stuff. I'm so happy with the inside of it. It's literally immaculate. Look, there's no wear on the bolster or anything like that. The only bit of wear you can see is on that handle there, but that is literally it. You can see where your hands like dashed across the material and just sort of like worn it away. But the rest of it is so good. It's so clean. 83,000 miles I think this car's got. So good. Cruise control is on there as well. You can turn it off here, and oh man, so good. Sunroof, the lot. Love this car. So cool. There's not really a crazy amount of work that needs to be done to the Prelude now. Obviously, I need to wire up the hydraulics. I've got to give it a service, change the temperature sensor because the original temperature sensor is not working and it sends the temp gauge off the scale. If you watched the early videos of this, you'll know that. Obviously, all the bodywork, I need to get all the filler out and start again because filler is absorbent of water. So it being outside in the rain and outside for a couple of years, that filler needs to come off and we just start again. So I need to get all that out. I need to make an exhaust, bleed the brakes, set up the fitment, make sure that's all good, get the hydraulics wired in, get that tracked, and then it's time to paint it. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to look really good. The car is so cool and so nice to have a car, a Honda of this era, that is rust-free. I know it's obviously had the work done, but it's done to a very high standard, so I'm more than happy with that. Need to bang an air filter on, needs a new battery, needs a front plate. There's quite a lot of things that it needs to do, but there's one thing I don't know works, and I want to see if it does. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, turning circle is fantastic. It's currently got no brakes or a handbrake, so it's hunting. I need to sort that out. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Maybe it's got an air leak somewhere. So yeah, there's the reintroduction of this Honda Prelude that I have. I know it's been sat in the background for many times and I have mentioned it in various different episodes, but we're actually making some progress on it because, to be honest, I didn't need anything else on my plate, but here we are, we're going to do it. So, from here, I'm going to go away, buy some materials, buy some extra parts, buy some wiring, and we could do another episode of this in future. And obviously, I know the picture isn't there and you can't see it, but what do you think to the wheels? Do you think I made the right choice? Do you think this is a good look? Do you think it's going to be a waste of time? Do you think that I should have put some normal wheels on it? I don't know. I really like this. I think it's going to look very cool on the floor. It gives me proper lowrider vibes at the minute, and I'm really excited for what it's going to look when it's done because it's a very cool car. Very nice interior, very rare spec, And you won't really have seen a Prelude that's going to sit or look like this ever. I don't think I've ever seen one. And I can guarantee it's going to be extremely low. So yeah, I'm excited to see it actually on the floor, what I think it's supposed to look like. So yeah, thank you everyone that has watched the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I think I might stick this one out Friday evening. Like I said before on the last episode, I have a lot of videos backed up and a very busy schedule next couple of months. So appreciate everyone. Also, we made 20k. I didn't mention that in the video. Made 20k subscribers. Mad. It's on like 20.3 at the minute, so it's growing so quickly and it's amazing. I have bought some amazing stuff, which is going to help the channel considerably and me in the workshop considerably. I already have one or two, but I bought another one, so think of that as you will. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a lovely weekend. See you later.